At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. We have a launch commit and we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off of Howe.
This is WOMM-LP operating out of Burlington, Vermont. 105.9 The Radiator. This is Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Bob Cahoon, and with me tonight is Evan David Warner.
Hello, hello.
Evan, how you doing?
Good, Bob. It's a pleasure to be here. How's it going?
Great. So I'm not the usual host. We're doing a little running back and forth tonight from the mixer to the host seat, so a little different than normal. What we usually like to do is start out with a song so people can listen, see what you're all about.
Plenty of those. So.
And why don't you play your first song for us? What's it called?
Sure. This song's called Green and Blue. Green and blue, I see heaven in the morning, me and you. I kiss the sun and I leave my worries behind. Matter of time until I close my eyes forever. Green and blue, I see heaven in the morning. Family, you should know you're all past perfect. Memories resonate to reach the surface. Now I'm truly alive. I wanna feel this way forever. Green and blue, I see heaven round the corner. I see heaven in the morning, me and you. I kiss the sun and I leave my worries behind. Matter of time until I close my eyes forever. Green and blue, I see heaven in the morning.
In Blue by Evan David Warner. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this is a good place to start out with. Where do you find your inspirations for songs, in particular this one? Is this written from personal experience? Is this about something or somebody in particular? Or
well, it's I was going through some stuff when I wrote it. Of course, like, you know, songwriters kind of, you know, use it as a way to cope. But I wanted it to be kind of lighthearted because it's a heavy song, just about, you know, finding peace in the morning, like remembering that there's always a tomorrow, you know, and you see heaven in the morning and you realize, hey, I'm alive. This is great. But, you know, the green and blue, it was kind of like, you know, when I wake up in the morning, it's a nice, bright, sunny day. I see big green mountain and in a nice blue sky. But, you know, in a more simple, less poetic way, I was just really like, I was in my DAW, you know, my little Logic session, and I noticed that, you know, the bars were green and blue. So, you know,
it kind of all came together.
Right. So it all just kind of came together, and I really like, you know, messing around with like colors and tastes and, you know, like the flavor of a song and how a song looks in someone's mind's eye. I really like to paint that picture literally. You know what I mean? So Green and Blue was green and blue. The song is green and is blue together.
Are you going to start a whole series of colors, the palette, the palette of Evan David Warner?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's already kind of happening a little
Okay.
bit. I wrote a song called Pink, White, Orange, Green.
Okay.
So there's 4 down, and with green and blue there's 6. So
Well,
guess
when
we'll
you,
just
when,
have
you, when you start running out, just get out that box of 64 Crayolas, and you're going to be set
Just-
for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'll have the chartreuse and salmon
Right.
next, right?
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's really fun. You know, I just like to not take myself too seriously with the songwriting, and the ideas come faster that way. You know,
And how long have you been songwriting?
I've been songwriting since I was very little, and it started with just like silly little stories, like kind of like nursery rhymes, but you know, some of them were about my sister. You know, she's smelly. She's got a yellow belly. I remember that was 2nd grade, and it was just, you know,
And have you turned it into a Bandcamp single yet?
it's on the
Not yet.
way.
It's on the way.
It's been in production for many years.
So when you were writing them as a kid, did you have the music in mind, or was it really more of a song, lyric, singing kind
Right.
of thing?
Well, I always had the admiration for so many, you know, classic rockers and, you know, pop stars and whatever, crooners, just as a kid, Beatles as well. But it really was just, I was just supposed to write a song because I felt like writing a song. I mean, that was basically it. You know, there wasn't, it didn't go farther than that until I realized, oh, this is really what I want to do. And I'm getting better at, you know, perfecting a song. But I didn't really feel that way until after high school, you know,
Okay.
because I was still, you know, working out the kinks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so do you find that songwriting is something that you have to sit down and do, or do these songs, do some of them come to you, or, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
is this a deliberate attempt?
It's
or not
it's
attempt,
always
but a deliberate.
deliberate. It definitely is always deliberate. Like I sit down and I have a think tank kind of session where I just brainstorm, but I'm constantly inspired. And you know, there's so many avenues for songs. You know, you could write like a silly little love song, or you could write, you know, something about nothing and it means everything to somebody else, you know. So it's always, you know, I always sit down with the intent to write a song and generate some ideas, whether it becomes a full song or not. You know, that takes days, weeks, whatever, years.
And how many iterations do you have to go through with a song? Do some of them come out whole, or do they start out as ideas
Sometimes
and then
there's
you kind of have to
yeah.
put them aside and come back to them?
You know, it changes. I think the ideas kind of flow through me as if I was like an antenna or something, or like a
You're the
receiver.
conduit.
Yeah, exactly. So it always changes. It always changes. But most of the times there's an idea, and then it takes time to develop it into a full thing. And sometimes I go to a producer and they help me out, and I really try to get second opinions. But then there's other times where it's just magic in a bottle, you know, and I just shock myself,
Just
like, oh,
happens.
there it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So that's a good segue into one of the questions I wanted to ask. You traveled to Amsterdam to
yes.
search for collaborators and record.
Yep.
Can you tell
And
me
my
a little
girlfriend lives there too, and she's probably listening.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Lotus.
Hello, Lotus.
Love ya.
You're up late, but it's worth
Yep.
it. So what, you know, so was she in Amsterdam first and then you traveled there? Or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was like, you know, I went over there to scope it out and meet her family and explore the city. And it was kind of like a holiday thing. And then I started going to college, and it was all right. I liked college. I was studying music, but I really wanted to study abroad. And so I decided to combine, you know, my personal life and my aspirations to be a musician into one, go over there on college exchange.
Okay.
And that's where I met, you know, my dear friend Mark, who is
Okay.
my manager in Amsterdam right now, and he owns an independent record label, and we've been working together ever since, about 2 years.
Nice.
2 years now.
And so do you find that, I mean, what does traveling abroad to a different country, and how does the music industry or scene or just vibe differ over there from here? I mean, Amsterdam's
Yeah.
certainly a bigger city, so there's
Right.
that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
but is
more
there,
of
is there
a
sort of
scene.
is there something else beyond just a size difference?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, culturally, you know, you get. I mean, you know, Vermont's full of like hippies and folk festivals and you know farmers markets, and of course there's like an indie college scene as well, but it's relatively small, you know, and it's kind of in house more or less, and you get like Western Mass groups or whatever. But Amsterdam, anything's game. Anything's game. I mean, you can walk into a bar and they're doing drag karaoke, and it's like, great, this is a hell of a night. Or you can walk down the street and there's a punk rock band in an old World War II bunker. Or, you know, there's like the wildest EDM you've ever heard at like 210 beats per minute. It's just crazy.
And
And,
that would kill me.
yeah.
So, have you traveled to other cities in Europe too, or
I've traveled to other cities in the Netherlands.
in the Netherlands? Okay.
And I went on holiday to Croatia, and there's some, you know, cool traditional music there. But, you know, mostly just stayed in Amsterdam and explored that scene.
And is Amsterdam sort of a hotbed of music production? Or,
I would say so.
Or do you think it's, you know, one of the major big cities so that...
I mean, I haven't really done a lot of exploring, but, you know, for me, based on first impression, you know, I immediately just compared it to Vermont and Burlington. Was like, wow, this is larger. You know, there's so
Flatter.
flatter, way flatter. But
And a lot of bicycles, right?
mostly bikes. They're trying to get rid of all petrol vehicles by 2030.
Wow.
And you know, they got carbon taxes up the wazoo and the plastic bans up the wazoo. So
Yeah.
but yeah, mostly bikes. I've biked to all my gigs over there and would show up and have all my stuff ready to go, and met a lot of musicians just cruising around on my bike, actually.
So have most of the recordings you've done that have been studio recordings been done in Amsterdam, or have you...
A lot of them have been written in Amsterdam,
Okay.
and some of them are recorded in the offices where, you know, my label is, and then some were recorded just in my bedroom, demoed in my bedroom.
Okay.
You know, yeah, most of the stuff that I'm working with now was kind of being demoed there, and now it's being finalized here.
Okay. Do you think you'll record here, or will you go
Oh yeah.
back over and
Oh yeah. I'll just wherever I can, I'll record.
wherever you are?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So you ready to play us another one here?
Sure.
What do you have?
Well, let's see. There's a lot of songs I've been working on that have not been released, and this is one of them. It's kind of more like a punk song with an edge.
Okay.
Hope I can
Is
remember
this
all the words.
a newly written song?
It is. It is.
Great.
It's called Japan.
Japan, hot off the presses.
Hot off the press.
There you go.
I just watched like an hour-long like glimpse of Japan's natural wonder, where they just have a helicopter flying through, and I was like, huh.
Oh, kind of like those
I
PBS
like that.
shows of flying over
Yeah.
each state, kind of.
Yeah, it was like Nova, but you know, an eastern place.
Yep.
So
Okay.
this is Japan.
Great. Thank you.
Thousands of miles, but there's no time. Years going by, yet you're not mine. Change all my ways for your sweet smile. Open my heart to your sunrise, to your sunrise. Japan, take me to your sunrise. Japan, I want to see your sunrise, see your sunrise, see your sunrise. You are the pearl of the world stage, gadgets and gizmos and earthquakes, Beauty caught me by surprise. Open my heart to your sunrise, to your sunrise. Japan, take me to your sunrise. Japan, I want to see your sunrise, see your sunrise, see your sunrise. Sunrise, see your sunrise, see your sunrise.
All right, that was Japan by Evan David Warner. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, is this now another place you want to travel to and get a little inspiration from in person?
I would love to. I mean, I would love
To
to
me,
travel.
it's a fascinating place.
Right. I mean, lots of culture to explore. You know, so
And-
much.
And
I have no idea personally.
very different.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen there, I mean, just some of the scenes are just so foreign to me. The whole concept of we're going on the subway and it's rush hour and we have people with white gloves
Right.
to push you in.
Right.
Americans
Stuffed
would
in.
just blow up, right?
No, it's so different, and that's kind of the idea of the song. Is it's Japan from an outside perspective. You know, you're the pearl of the world stage. Gadgets, gizmos, earthquakes. It's kind of a naive look into Japan because there's so much more. But you know, lyrically, that's what I was going for.
Well, and that's what we see on the surface, on the outside, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's all about just longing to check it out, see what's going on.
And so that was just from watching a documentary.
Yeah. Well, I kind of had it, you know, I wrote down Japan because I was interested in writing a song about it. But I was like, you know, I really need to feel like I'm in touch with Japan, you know. I don't want to say something stupid, you know, and
Right.
you know, so it's like let's make sure it's somewhat accurate, you know. And then you heard it.
And there you are.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that has not been recorded yet.
It has not. No, I've been I'm working with a little band in Winooski,
Okay.
and it's something that we have been playing with. So
So a
In
little
time,
band meaning 4-piece,
Right.
traditional guitar,
Yeah.
drums, bass.
yeah, a little rock
Thing.
band.
So that might be a rock tune.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not really meant for the acoustic, but it works.
No, it certainly does. It certainly does. So is this little band an official band yet, or
It's official. It's
Okay.
official. You know, it's just everyone's in the middle of finals.
Gotcha.
You know, school always gets in the way of making music, especially if you go to
School.
music for or you go to school for music.
Right. Yeah, you have actual assignments that you need.
Right.
Right.
Like our bass player is a jazz head, and
Okay.
he's studying jazz at UVM. So he's got you know a lot of finals coming up. So he has to put off his music for his music, you know,
Right.
constantly.
So summertime, do you think you'll all free up a little bit? Are these
Oh,
people
yeah.
local enough that you can be doing some things over the summer?
Yeah, there's some really exciting opportunities for us coming up. There's
And can we name this band? Or not yet?
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Nope.
Well, you'll just have to let us know.
Right.
What the secret is.
We
Okay.
we threw some names around. Yeah, we were thinking like Tempo Tiempo. We were thinking like the Goons, the Trucks.
So
You know,
you
we
haven't
came.
settled on a name first of all.
No, we just came up with a lot of silly ideas. You know, and
You know, that's one of the harder things to do because you're
Right.
somewhat stuck with it for a while.
yeah, it can't suck. You know. It's,
Well, it can,
It-
but
I mean,
then
definitely
it
can.
might not help you.
right. Exactly.
So yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and everyone keeps taking up all the good ones, right? In theory.
Yeah. Might as well just take someone else's.
But that's
It's
kind of
that
like
good.
saying all the good songs have been written. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's certainly not true. Every year there's more.
Right.
So there's another question for you. Is you guys seem to have a wide range of influences musically.
Oh
you,
yeah.
You mentioned Pink Floyd, Anderson .Paak, Tame Impala.
Mhm.
Is that just because you grew up listening to a lot of different music, or where does that
Well,
come from?
I think growing up, I was only listening to like bands like Kiss, and I was listening to a lot of Beatles. So the theatrics and kind of like the personification of each character in the band was something that I really was attached to for a long time.
In a stage show.
In a stage show way, in like a arena way, or
Right.
like a larger than life recording session way, like the Beatles. But as time went on, I kind of realized like, oh, there's a lot more out there, and just started dipping my toes in different genres, and immediately drawn to funk. You know, like when I discovered Bowie, I heard Fame, and I was like, oh, that's funky. And then I really discovered what funk was as I dug deeper, and I was like,
Then
oh,
you
it's
discovered
beyond.
what Bowie was listening to.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it never ends, you know, and I love all music. I used to be anti-pop, but not anymore. I embrace all forms of music, and I soak it all up, you know.
Good pop can be great.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, any genre has its, I don't know, things that maybe aren't the best. A little bit of a dud here and there.
Yeah,
but-
well, it's all timing and the place, you know. Like jazz works in most spots, unless you're trying to fist pump all night, you know. In which case,
Yeah, if you're looking to bounce up and down, maybe not in jazz.
right. But everything stems from jazz, which is and blues, which is neat. But you know,
And so you're studying music in college too,
yeah.
and what specifically, specialization?
Well, I've bounced around. I'm always performing, but I really am into, you know, the technical side as well, audio engineering. I have a lot of friends who are into that.
Okay.
And I'm just scratching the surface, you know. I've been, you know, preoccupied with my instruments, and now it's like, oh, and the computer helps, and all the analog gear helps bring the whole vision to life, and I really want to be in control of that.
So you think you're really going to focus on the engineering technical side?
Yeah.
For a college degree, I mean.
At least enough so I can, you know, dictate what I want in the studio if I'm working with another engineer, and I have, you know, the terminology, the vocabulary, and the know-how to really make it come to life.
And have you seen that already show up in when you go in to record that, wow, I know more, like you said, more what to ask and what to
Right.
ask for kind of
Yeah,
thing?
definitely. I mean, just by doing it, you know, you're always getting a little bit better each time. You're always learning.
Yep.
So,
And do you find it harder to record your own stuff or somebody else's? Or neither?
I haven't really been faced. Well, you know,
I mean,
it
I don't know how
depends
much
on the
recording you've
artist.
done.
If you know,
Oh, right, yeah. Anybody.
Because I have a friend who produced ODB, Old Dirty Bastard, and he would just pee on everything, and you can't
doesn't
really
sound
get
like
much
fun.
done with someone like that.
Kind of ruins the equipment, too.
Right. Right. So
But in terms of musically, you know, do you need to distance yourself from your own music when you're going to record it a little bit to be able to say,
yeah.
you know, sometimes when other people have come in, they say it's a little hard sometimes to say no to yourself.
Right.
You know, when
Oh, totally.
you know, you don't want to throw everything in there, and sometimes you have to remove stuff, not add stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm not the one who can see that, and so
Right.
to step back, have someone else take a look at it, it's totally necessary. Totally necessary. So, you know, I'm sure I'll be met with that situation more than once in my life, you know, if I keep going down this road. But that's the one thing that just this year I've learned is like being able to let go a little bit, but still have, you know, the creative control. But when someone else can give you feedback, criticism, that's going to improve the song for the masses. Because, you know, when you're so attached to something, it's kind of like the whole Love is Blind idea, you know? And someone may think, you know, just change this one note and it's going to be so much better, but you're so,
Right.
no, I put that note there.
Couple words here and there
Right.
in the lyric, maybe.
No, you
or
can't
something.
change that the to and, you know, but
Yep.
I'm realizing more and more that it's the big picture, you know? Just step away, don't worry, let people.
Yep. And does that so I assume that's happening in your band a little bit.
It does. I mean,
Are you the songwriter mainly for this band, or is it are there
We,
other people bringing stuff in, or?
other people are bringing stuff in, definitely, and we try to piece together You know, if one person has an idea in A and my idea is in C or whatever, it's like, oh, we'll just transpose one and then we have a A and a B. You know, so we try to be as democratic as possible because it's the only way to maintain sanity in a band, and also finances when things get big. You know, everyone has their equal share and their equal say, and history, you know, if you look in the old rock and roll archives, you'll see that more often than not, you know, there's a lot of beef between people who were best friends forever and ever. So
Bands implode for many different reasons,
Yeah.
and creative differences is one of them. But
Right.
sometimes it's. And so, are you writing the lyrics for these songs?
right now I am,
Okay.
yeah. I think that ball is in my court
Okay.
officially.
And does the song start with a lyric, or does it start with? Does somebody bring in music and you start thinking about what does that music make you think of?
You know, it's different
bit of
every
both?
time. It's a little bit of both, you know, 'cause sometimes I'll come in with half a song and everyone's like, okay, cool, let's just finish it up, maybe write a bridge and call it a day. Other times it's like, you know, I just have one word, like with Japan. It was me and my bandmate, and
Okay.
we were just like, that's interesting, let's look up a documentary and see where it takes us. And then we just talked.
What a
and
great way to to find a song, kind of
Right.
thing, right?
So, you know, it just goes back to like, there's always inspiration everywhere. It's just perspective, you know?
Yep.
Like if you want to write a song about that candle over there, well, call Elton John. You got Candle in the Wind. Just take the candle outside or whatever. I don't know
Right.
this real story behind it, but that's the way I see it. I always put myself in the position where I'm like, I'm not passive, you know, I'm actively looking for inspiration, even in a setting where it seems like there's nothing. It's like you just got to look around for that little shimmer, and
Sometimes you're
what's going to
just
spark
standing
the...
around or sitting around waiting for
Right.
something else to happen, but there's
Yeah.
always something going on. And so, do you play just the guitar, or do
No.
you play what other instruments?
I
are
play
you-
bass as well and
bass,
drums,
which is a form of a guitar,
right. A few
And-
less
and you-
strings.
and drums. So, in the band, are you the guitarist, or are you
Yeah,
mainly the guitar?
mainly the guitarist. Sometimes I just take the axe off and grab the mic
And just sing.
and just sing. I really prefer it that way.
Okay.
But you know, I'm happy I can accompany myself. You know, so
Yeah, well, and it's a good way to write songs, I assume.
oh, definitely.
And do you use any other instruments to help you write songs, or is it really mainly the guitar? Or?
I've done some stuff with piano,
Okay.
but I'm not really. You know, I'm working on my chops on piano. It's been something that I've always wanted to get better at, but I was, you know, focused on my guitar. So in time,
It's an easy instrument to play chopsticks on.
Yeah.
But then there's a long way to go from there, right?
oh, it's a long, long way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I can play the Jaws theme. That's about it.
I think I got Smoke on the Water covered, you know,
Exactly.
on the black keys.
Yep, right.
But, you know, like that Green and Blue song, that I was sitting at my girlfriend's grandfather's grand piano, the Triple G.
Okay.
And it was a Christmas dinner, and I was just goofing around trying to be jazzy, you know, and all of a sudden, da 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 da, there's this melody that just came out of nowhere, and it just smelled like Christmas, you know, and I just ran with it, and I just didn't forget that one little riff, and I was playing around with it on a MIDI keyboard, and then suddenly, 2 hours later, there it was.
Do you carry around a notebook or a
Yeah.
phone, or I mean, how do you, when
Yeah.
these ideas strike, how do you not lose them or forget about them, or?
Sometimes they are lost. There's a lot of lost ideas, you know, and they're great ideas, and I honestly need to be more strict with writing stuff down, but most of the time I just carry around a little journal.
Okay.
And when I forget it and I have a great idea, I always kick myself, or I'm like, come on, save it. Come on, don't forget
It'll
this
come
one.
back. It'll come back.
Right, but and you know, it probably will. It probably won't.
You never know.
There's plenty
Maybe
of fresh
it's just
ones,
in there
you know?
percolating, and 2 years
Yeah.
from now.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
come out.
it's kind of a gamble every time, and that's the best part of songwriting. Is like it's just like you have to have a certain fascination with life to write good songs, and like that like I was saying earlier, that active fascination
Right.
is what just breeds like, oh, this I feel lovely. Let's write a song. I feel lovely today. You know, something as simple as that. And you look outside and you're like, oh, this is nice weather. Let's write a song about something entirely different, you know?
So you came out with was it a full album in 2017? Or would you call it, I don't know if you call it, what's a full album, what's an EP anymore, but
Yeah, the Green and Blue came out recently, and then there's a Going to Atlantis project.
okay, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and
That was
that was like my prototype.
okay.
That was like my first ever time being in a studio.
Mhm.
And of course I've seen documentaries on the greats working in there, and I was just in a little like dorm room studio, but I still felt like I was in Abbey Road, you know. I just took it
Right.
so seriously. And those were some of the first songs I ever wrote. And, you know, for a prototype, I think it's not half bad, but you know, looking back, it shows my, you know, my
Always go back and
adolescent
redo some of
phase.
those songs.
Oh, absolutely.
And so do you think the next bigger release you'll have is with this band? Or
I hope so.
okay.
I hope so. I mean, right now I'm producing and arranging, composing everything on my own.
Mhm.
So like anything you hear on Spotify,
Okay.
I'm doing all the instruments, and it's being mixed and engineered by somebody else. But I'm hoping we can get this band together in the summer and come out with a full piece of music.
Okay.
I had another group in Massachusetts that we recorded a full EP in this beautiful studio, and we're just waiting on the mix. You know, and it's
So
been
things could start popping out soon.
things are always popping out.
Yeah.
You know.
So do you release a lot of singles by yourself,
Yeah.
and do you find that's sort of the way they come out, and they're ready to come out as a single, or do you ever stop and, you know, what makes you decide this is a single, or I need to put something together as a group of songs?
I guess, you know, you have to have a certain amount of songs finished,
Mhm.
and then you can listen to all of them in order and think, oh, do any of these accidentally tell a story? That's kind of the way I think about it. I don't really, I want to do concept albums. I haven't approached it like that yet, where I'm like, okay, starting now, this is going to be about a dream I had 3 years ago or whatever, and I'm going to go into detail. No, it's more like if I have 8 finished songs, what 4 songs can be one EP and what 4 songs can be another,
Okay.
you know? That's kind of the way I approach it.
Okay. So we're getting near to the end of our time here.
Wow.
Before we finish with a few songs,
Yeah.
plug some social media. Are you playing anywhere locally, or even not locally, but are you playing anywhere where people can come see you?
Yeah, in July I'm going to be at the Bean, the Radio Bean.
Okay. Do you
And-
know the specific date on that, or
Yeah, I believe it's July 15th.
okay?
July 15th at around 8 or so. I think it's a Friday.
That's
Friday
pretty precise, so that's good.
Yep. And it's, you know, I show up with my little loop station. I have my laptop running, so you get a full band feel.
So do you build these loops as you go, or are they
Some of them are pre-made. Some of them I build as I go. It's more fun when you build as you go, and the audience gets very, very
I
psyched.
think that's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like Reggie Watts.
Yep.
It's kind of like that, except, you know, less
Right.
less scatting.
A different style is all.
Yeah.
But I've seen several looping things, and I'm fascinated by it personally.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
It's so much fun. And then where can people find you online, find your music?
It's just Evan David Warner on all social media platforms.
So-
Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook,
Facebook.
Instagram. It's all Evan David Warner.
Okay.
Just first, middle, last.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Why don't you play us a couple more songs before you go? You can introduce them. You can introduce one, stop and introduce the other, whatever you want to do here.
Pleasure's all mine.
Great.
Um,
Thank you.
I'll play the song that's releasing tomorrow. Actually, there's gonna
Okay.
be a single released on Spotify. It's called
Spotify.
"Shine to Share,"
Shine to Share.
and you know, it's funky.
Great.
Can't give me peace of mind. Energy is a force of truth. Frequency, animate and move. 'Cause I'm on the edge all alone. I got the courage to overcome all the obstacles. Shine to share, shine to share. 'Cause I'm on the edge all alone. I got the courage to overcome all the obstacles. Shine to share, shine to share. Oh Lord, what you do to me when I hear sweet boys on a groove machine? You sang my heart to sleep. Dream of all the sweet loving you could give to me. All the sweet loving you could give to me. All the sweet loving you could give to me. All the sweet loving you could give to me. All the sweet loving. On the edge all alone. Yeah, I got the courage to overcome all the obstacles. Oh, 'cause I'm on the edge all alone. Got the courage to overcome all the obstacles. Shine to share, shine to share.
Shine to Share by Evan David Warner. Would you like to play one more for us, or
I suppose.
I offered you
I
to
would
do
love
two? That'd be great.
Cool.
Well, I'm getting a little bonus track here. This
little
is your encore here.
Let's see here.
A little pressure to pick one out.
It's another unreleased track, probably the next single. So this is a big sneak peek.
There you go.
But
you know this does become a podcast, right?
oh yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
good.
That's fine.
Great. Hey, people stumble upon it and come up and see you and say, "Hey, I just heard this."
Yeah,
That's the best.
That's lovely. I
Right.
want that.
Exactly.
This one's called "Moving to the City." Pine tree past the glass, I am a rolling stone, I'm on the road. Been schooled, been fooled, been ridiculed, packed my bags, leaving home. Oh, so dark on the highway now, spark that dot, exhale that cloud. Gotta go, can't get back, the precious time to see dead and gone. Moving to the city. Moving to the city. I think stay a while, yeah. Moving to the city. Moving to the city. I wanna stay a while. Asphalt, concrete, twilight, skyline. I'll be there when the sunrise. Whole lot of love in your eyes, taking me back to the love light. Take me downtown where the streets crisscross. Gridlock, we'll get lost, away from all the pressure and the pain. Same at the home base, so I'm just moving to the city. Moving to the city. I think I'll stay a while, yeah. Moving to the city. Moving to the city. I wanna stay a while. Chase the dream for better or worse. City don't sleep, so alive when I arrive. On like a waking dream. I can pick you up and I can set you free. Free, free. Oh, moving to the city. Moving to the city. I think I'll stay a while. Moving to the city.
Well, thank you again, Evan David Warner, been our guest tonight on Rocket Shop Radio Hour. It's been a wonderful visit with you. Next week, I think Rocket Chop's taking a much needed hiatus. We've been going gangbusters for quite a few weeks here. We'll be back May 22nd with the Larkspurs. I've been your host, Bob Cahoon, and good night. See you soon.
Nighty night.